Happy Friday. Welcome to the Deal Desk. I make live calls here. If it's your first time tuning in, welcome. By the way, if you're tuning in from YouTube and you want your calls or you want your leads called live, you can head over to the reitoolbox.com. All right, you head over there, you click submit my leads to be called live on the Deal Desk, and I just call them live. I don't know what I'm walking into here. Haven't looked at these before. These are everywhere and anywhere. And people always want to sell for different reasons. But the purpose of this is just so you get to see what this looks like live, you know, whether I overcome objections, get offers accepted. Last week was probably my favorite episodes. I mean, people want to sell for different reasons. You have to make sure that you focus on what is the problem, and let me bring the solution. But that being said, let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with the first one. This is, I don't know what address. I think you're missing an address here. Clifton Sale Drive. Looks like this is in Atlanta, Georgia. And you put in the notes here, the property is fully renovated. All right. Well, you know, fully renovated properties. I don't know what their situation is. I just do know that typically somebody that has a house that's fully renovated, they're not really willing to go pretty low at a discount. So we'll see. We never know what we're walking into here. Let's go ahead and give them a call. All right. It doesn't have a name on here either. I guess that's okay. Let me pull this up on prop. Looks like the name is Mr. Garrett. So when you submit these, please make sure that you put in some notes. Right? I want to make sure that I'm warm calling here, not really cold calling, even though I don't mind cold calling. I just want to talk to people that have expressed interest in selling the property. Okay? So just keep that in mind. That being said, let me just call this lead. I don't know if they're going to pick up or not. I just want to get some people on the phone here and talk to some people. All right, here we go.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon. My name's Steven. I think you spoke with my partner a few days ago about your property on Cliftondale Drive.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Were you still interested in selling that property?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yes. Yeah, this is the perfect time. Yes, sir.
All right, great. So I don't have much information here, but I can go ahead and give you an offer. I want to say it takes about 5-10 minutes. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So my process is actually very simple. I just want to ask you a few questions about the house. I'll go ahead and evaluate the area right here in the computer. That'll give me more or less a ballpark of where I should be at. And like I said, it takes about 5-10 minutes. I do like letting everybody know up front, just reminding people that we are a real estate investment company. So I'm not always the best fit. If I'm not a good fit, I'll let you know up front so I don't waste your time, okay?
Are y'all the actual buyers, or you all are wholesaling also?
We do everything. I mean, sometimes these properties that are nicer shape, we actually buy and hold as rentals. It just depends on the numbers and what you're looking for.
Okay, gotcha.
So I have this pulled up here. Let me make sure I have the right. This is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath built in 2013.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. What else can you tell me about it as far as the condition? Seems like it's in great shape.
The landscaping is nice. Got a full backyard, full appliances. The house is fully cleaned out, vacant. It was a foreclosure. The HVAC has been fully remanufactured. The only thing that is wrong is the microwaves. The microwave, so that's something that's small. Yeah. But yeah, everything works. Everything looks well. All the lights work, no flickering, anything like that. Mm-hmm. So the home is well taken care of.
Oh, perfect. And you mentioned the roof was, the AC was new?
Yeah, it's been remanufactured.
Got it. And is the roof original 2013?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, seems like a great house. What's got you interested in selling it?
Well, so what I actually have, I have a novation agreement with the client.
Okay.
And Yeah, the client was in foreclosure. He have another home, so he's moved. So he just hold on to the home, trying to sell it, trying to get rid of it so he can just move on with his life.
Okay, so you have this under contract. You're trying to novate it.
Correct.
Got it. What are you asking for it?
So when I go for retail, when I get it listed, I'm listing for $585.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see here. Okay. Yeah, as an investor, I mean, I don't know if it would make sense. Do you think the homeowner's open to seller financing the property?
No, they won't do seller finance, but
Got it.
if you was going to make an offer on it, what would it be?
Man, I'd be a lot lower than what it's listed for, because we do novations as well, but that's usually for people that want a high price. The property has to be in good shape, as you know. So as an investor, we don't pay full market value unless they're open to terms. So I just didn't want to waste your time.
All right. So it's lower than 5?
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, not a problem. I won't waste your time.
I appreciate it.
If I have another property that come about, I will let you all know.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
All right. So this was somebody under contract. They're novating it. They're asking full market value. I mean, the house is in great shape, but we don't want to spend time talking to people that they're looking to get full market value, and it's not really. I mean, it's just not a good fit. Move on to the next one. All right, let's go to who we got here. We have one in. Let's see. All right, so Palm Bay. Deborah, you submitted one in Palm Bay. Let's pull this one up. Wigmore Street. Okay. So this looks like a for sale by owner. Okay. So let's pull this up here. For sale by owner. Is it? No, it's listed. Okay. So remember, when you're going after on market, it's a little bit different of a conversation. You have to be more direct. You can't expect the agent to accept an offer, right? It's more like, what are your numbers? They collect offers. I want to gather a little bit more information about the property. I talked to an agent yesterday, and one of the first things they'll ask is, are you a wholesaler? Are you a buyer? Are you an agent? Right? And you have to come across as a buyer, because even though if you wanted to assign the property, right, and you're coming across as a buyer, you have to speak that language that they understand. You can't come across as somebody that how do I say, right? Some agents don't like investors, especially if all they do is wholesaling, could waste a lot of time. All right, this property, this one's listed. How long has it been listed? So when a property is on the market, remember, you want to look at the days on market and how much interest. This one's only been on here for 20 days. That's 133 saves. So they said they're accepting the highest and best by June 20th. Okay, incredible 3-2, Palm Bay home, massive lot. Ideal. Here's your chance to own a beautiful blah, blah, blah. It looks like they copy and pasted all this from ChatGPT. Okay. Was that a person? Oh, yeah, this person. He's just chilling there. Okay. I mean, the house is in fair shape. So, yeah, what are they asking for this? They're asking $224,999, so $225. All right. And, when it comes to these, I try to bring my best foot forward. If somebody is saying we're collecting highest and best, I'm careful about how I anchor price, because I do want to separate myself from the other offers. But ideally, what I'll do with people that are trying to collect bidding wars, and this is just something that works for me. So, for example, they're collecting highest and best by June 20th. Okay. That is exactly next Friday. What I would do if I were you is I would call the lead or call the agent a day before or the day of. If you can get an exact time frame, like let's say they're accepting highest and best by 5 p.m. on June 20th, if you can call them at 4:30 and say, hey, I am a serious buyer. I don't want to waste your time or mine. Where do I have to be at for this to make sense for both of us so we can move forward? Sometimes they'll disclose the price. Sometimes they won't. It all depends on how motivated the seller is. And when you're calling a listing, sometimes I'll just do some quick research and see more or less where I have to be at. because again, even if I call this person and they like the offer, I don't expect them to accept anything today. $1,256 square feet. All right. I do see some buy and holds for 6.4 million, but that's because they own 40,000 properties. Oh, this is a good area. Yeah, this is a really good area. Wow. There's a comp. There is a how many bedroom? Hold on a second. I'm just looking at some comps. I can't share my screen. I'm looking at comps because I want to keep your leads confidential. When I call my own leads, I'll blur out the addresses and I'll show you guys how I comp. But this is 1993 to 1,300 square feet. They're asking 225. I see one that's a little bit bigger, but it's over $340,000. It's right down the street. I mean, this is kind of like a flip, but it could also be rental. Okay, here's a perfect comp right here. 3.2, 1,400 square feet. They bought this for 205. So, you know, when you see one, when you're looking at comps, right? The way I look at comps, I look at investors, right? But if you're looking at comps, if you see one person buy high and one person buy low, right? It doesn't always mean that you go with the MAO of the lowest person. What I do like to take a look at, the common denominator is, well, what is the ARV? If they were flips, what did they both sell them at? Because I've seen like identical properties before. They buy in two different price points, but they actually sell them for exact same price. Okay, so I see one sold for 250. I'm looking at the ARV. So I see an ARV. Okay, so I think the ARV is around 280 actually. Yeah, so I think they may be asking a bit high. Okay. So I'm going to call them anyway, right? I don't want to really expect a commitment or anything. They put all the information on here. And also, please remember, whenever you're calling leads that are FSBOs or on market, you don't want to make the person repeat everything that's on here. But man, this is a very long paragraph here. The formatting is a little bit off. So take a look at this without showing the address. So highest and best, blah 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 blah. Here's your chance to own a beautiful value-packed home, Palm Bay. See this formatting's off. Okay, relaxing, unwinding. And I can tell they copy and pasted this by ChatGPT, not only because of formatting, but you see these little dashes. You know, for those of you, just a quick tip, if you didn't know this, you can tell somebody copy and pasted a ChatGPT if it says, what's it say? When people send emails, it says, I hope you find this email well, or something like that. And then there's all these random dashes. So they just got to learn how to use it. So AC is just 5 years old. 11-year-old roof, no HOA. All right, I've had enough taking a look at this. I'm just going to give them a call and just get more information. I will try to get a specific time next Friday that they're going to actually take a look at this, okay? That's at least what's important to me, because if they're not going to accept an offer now, when are they going to accept it? That's what we got to find out. All right, so let's take this number. Let's call this lead. Remember, the market in Florida, especially right now, tons of inventory. Right? Be picky. Agent's name is Ryder, Mr. This isn't too bad.
Your call has been forwarded to an
automatic
voice message.
See if he picks up. Also, if you're in the community, you have a direct private chat with me during the show, and you get priority calls as well. Let's call this person back one more time, see if they pick up the phone. Make sure I got the right number too. Fish tank. Is that a leak in the roof? Oh no, it's a vent.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 3 0.
All right, they didn't pick up.
5
Let's
3
go to the next one.
2.
Call me back. Hello, this is Steven.
Hey, hi. I just missed 2 calls from you.
Oh, yes, sir. I was actually calling about your listing there on was it Wigmore Street in Palm Bay?
Yes, sir.
Great. You have plenty of information on the description. You guys are collecting highest and best by next Friday. What time specifically next Friday are you looking to make a final decision with the homeowner?
It's more of just a marketing thing. If I get a higher offer or a good enough offer, then we'll probably take it before then.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, I've received a lot of the wholesaler and sight unseen offers, and we're just probably not dealing with any of that.
I was just talking about that with my team, that a lot of agents I speak with is just like, are you a wholesaler? Are you a wholesaler? Are you a wholesaler? Yeah, so I get it. I don't want to waste your time. Where do you think, I mean, is the homeowner flexible on price? Where do you think I would have to be at
I've kind of dropped it to its bottom, so yeah, it probably wouldn't work.
Okay, so 225 he's pretty firm at that price.
Yes, sir. I think I'm at 227. Let me check.
And then if we wanted to get access, is that possible?
Yeah, of course. He's flexible with the showings.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 225. Yeah.
If I can offer,
I've dropped the price now, and I'm getting a lot of attention now. We're having a lot of showings, so I see it going pending very soon.
Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah, the listing's performing great. Yeah.
That's
2,000
great.
views, 132 saves. Yeah.
Do you think if I can pay more, do you think he might be open to terms, or is he just looking for cash?
No, he's looking for cash. This isn't anywhere to do creative.
Okay, perfect. You have any more in the area?
I have all over Florida. Yeah, about 20 listings, I guess.
Oh wow. Okay, that's great. Let me do something here real quick. What's your best email? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't have access to it. You can't see it. I guess you don't.
You're breaking up. What was that?
I guess you don't have MLS. You can't see the email.
Oh, it's on the. No, I was just looking at it on Zillow, but I could get it off the MLS. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Just let me know if you need anything. You can also search up my name, Zillow, and then my Zillow profile will come up, and everything there is still available, not pending.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So this one doesn't work. You want to always ask the agent, do you have any more in the area? Because sometimes they'll send you pocket listings. You only have to prove yourself once to an investor-friendly agent. They know you're the real deal, and then they'll just keep sending you stuff. So he says he has stuff all over Florida. His information is on the MLS. So remember, if you're not licensed, you can get what's called an assisted login. Or if you have PropStream, you can get access to MLS data. And then if I just go to MLS details, like I'm on PropStream right now, I'll go to the MLS details, and then I just scroll to the bottom, and it has his name, number, email. Perfect. Yeah, it has his old email here. All right, awesome. Build a relation. Man, he put the whole ChatGPT description on MLS too. Whatever, who cares? If it's a deal, it's a deal. Let's go to the next one. What do we have here? All right, I see a question in the private chat. Please explain novation and how does it relate to terms and subject to? Thanks. So those are two different things. So novation, the way that I like to explain it to homeowners, I'll give you a quick example. If a property, like that first one I called in Atlanta, for example, right? The property is in great shape. The ARV is 585. The person said that they were novating it for 585. That's fine. So the way that works, the way I explain it to people is say, hey, I think you're asking great price on the open market, but a cash offer wouldn't work. Let's say they weren't open to cash or the terms. What we can do is we have something called a retail buyer program where it's very similar to listing the property on the market. The only difference is that we cover your closing costs, fees, and commissions. And in some scenarios, we're prepared to invest into the property. We just need to make sure it passes a 4-point inspection. So we'll list it on the market. We'll market it to retail buyers, investors, contractors, whatever. The difference between us and your typical agent that's not investor friendly is that we have a larger buyer's pool. The only downside to this is that it could take, I tell them 30 to 90 days. I just want to set those expectations, but we tell them we're not the buyer, right? Some people don't want to list it with an agent because they don't want to go through the hassle of back and forth and open houses and all this stuff. If their house is in good shape and the cash offer doesn't work, they don't want terms, then that's the third option that we do. So hopefully that answers your question. In regards to terms, that's just creative financing where, if it's free and clear, we can structure it any way we want, but we'll make like a down payment, equal monthly payments until the balance is paid in full. Or a subject to means that if there's a mortgage in place, it's subject to the existing mortgage. So, those you got to know what you're doing with those because you can't sell those to like a newbie investor, right? Because the homeowner's mortgage, it stays in place, especially the lower interest rate. You get interest rate now, it's going to be higher. And a lot of those interest rates when they first purchased it are better. Can we see email from MLS on Real Elite Pro? I'm not sure. I can't speak on a Real Elite because I don't use Real Elite. Okay. Nothing against Real Elite. I know it works and stuff, but I just use PropStream. All right, let's go to Lead 365 here. What's up, Lead 365? So they put in a few leads here. Let's go to, let me see. Man, some of these are motivated, really motivated. Aberdeen, Illinois. All right, perfect. So let's look at this one. These guys provide some really motivated leads. If you missed last week's episode, make sure you check it out. I spoke to, a really motivated person. We're playing telephone tag with her husband, but they are super interested in selling. All right, so this is the property. Okay, excuse me. Cool. So let's see. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Oh, no. Hold on. I think I spoke with this guy already, actually. I think I have a follow-up with him. That's not the one I wanted to call. It is a good one, but I have a follow-up later for that one. There was another one here. Here it is. Marion, Illinois. Okay. This one seems very motivated. Why would somebody want to sell to an investor, right? There's always pros and cons. And I try to set those expectations with people the best way I can up front. We're not the highest, but we can usually close the fastest. Okay. This property has some photos. Let me see. I think these are from a previous something else here. All right. And if there's ever photos on these properties, you do want to ask them if it looks anything similar. Okay. All right. So this one, where am I at here? Reason for selling: cancer and need to move near my son and have house I'm wanting to buy. So need top dollar for mine. Does not need work for this house. I did a lot of upgrades already. Reason for selling. Okay. I need to sell this property ASAP. Okay, perfect. Let's give them a call. I don't know what their top dollar is. Their top dollar can be a little bit more than what they bought it for. Their top dollar can be full market value. I don't know what I'm walking into, but I have to be ready to offer a few more solutions. And, keep in mind, guys, regardless of where these leads come from, especially especially when it comes to the PPC leads, you know, if you're brand new and you sign up for inbound marketing, you know, because there's a lot of companies out there. LeadHouse 365 is one of the best ones, but these leads that are inbound marketing, you know, you still have to follow up, nurture, you know, you have to negotiate. They're not just going to be like ready to sign as soon as you call them. So just keep that in mind. Anything really inbound marketing, but they're more motivated, right? And listen, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Where's their phone number? Here it is. Okay. Give me 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Now I'm going to copy and paste the address, start running these comps. See if they pick up. Nancy. Pretty good shape.
Hello. Sorry I missed your call. Please leave your name.
Try her one more time, and then I'll call some other people's leads. I'm gonna call everybody's. You know, I get leads from the community. I get leads from LeadHouse. I saw somebody submitted one to the community as well. Let me call this lady back one more time, and I'm running comps on this. Let me see. She's asking 130. See, to me, if it looks anything like these photos, the property is not fully renovated. Hello? All right. She didn't pick up. But take a look at these photos. Does this look fully renovated to you? Fully renovated to some people is their own category, but that's why I always ask them, like, you know, the interior, when were the, you know, kitchen, bathrooms last updated? Because even though this house is in great shape, you know, this isn't like 2025, you know, 2025 renovation. So just keep that in mind. All right, cool. So let's see. Joanne, you submitted one to the community. Let's take a look at this. What did you send me? All right, Trinice, you sent one too. All right, Oklahoma. Full reno, but might be a good renting property. Okay. He's been traumatized, what? With other investors. Okay. That is one of the most common objections you will get if you haven't already. Is they had a bad experience with other investors. And I say this every time, but you just have to be prepared on how you're going to separate yourself. So this property, this is fully renovated. Okay. Yeah, this is fully renovated. Let me see this real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at what you said here, because this it looks fully renovated. Well, actually, it's not really fully renovated, but it's in great shape. What? Okay, that's interesting. So, not really fully renovated, but it's in great shape. But people sell for different reasons, so that's all I want to pay attention to. All right. So what's the story with this one? Flexible in pricing, has cash offer at $55,000, $59,000, considering listing with agent because he's been a bit traumatized with other investors. Roof is 3 to 4 done. Metal, texted to see if under contract. Okay. Full rental, but might be good rental property. Okay, he texted you June 6th. All right. Okmulgee, Oklahoma. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Let's pull this up real quick. So this one has, how long has this been listed for? This guy's been trying to sell this for about 30 days. It's 48 saves. No rent to own. Must get financing. House sits on 2 lots. Comes with gas stove and fridge. 2-1 bathroom, newly renovated. Has all new floors, new hot water tank, new metal roof. It says it's 2 bedrooms, 16 bathrooms. That's got to be way off. I think he did a typo there. Now, you said that he's willing to do 55, 59. That isn't low enough because when you remarket this, you can't remarket it the same price or even close to what it's listed for, especially if it's been on here for 29 days. So I automatically know we have to be lower. I'm going to call them anyway, and I do have an Oklahoma number. We do a lot of business in Oklahoma. I think it's just, that's not low enough, but you submitted it, so I'm gonna call them. Let's start running comps on this. Jeremy. Other investors, huh?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Call him back one more time. I'm just running some comps here, some quick comps. Dang. I see $20,000. Okay, we have 74. Okay. The place. This is 1,008 square feet.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
It doesn't
The person
matter.
you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
We got to confirm this on the list, on the Zillow listing. I mean, he put 2 bedrooms, 16 bathrooms. I know that's off. 1,120 square footage. I don't know if that's correct. And remember, there's a big difference between heated square footage, okay, heated square footage, and building square footage. We go based off of heated, like what's livable, all right? Because on the tax record, it says only it's 1,008, and it's a 2-1. Okay, MLS details. Okay, so we bought this. Yeah, let me see here. I see the highest sold property sold for 75. There's 32,000, 27,000, 10,000, 9,000, 1,000, 37,000. All right, this one that sold for 75. I'd like to know if this was an investor or not. It was not an investor. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see. Trinice, you submitted one. Okay. I spoke to Miss Annie about the property in Gastonia, the one you spoke with yesterday. We are good to go. She won't be purchasing any new appliances. I told her we can do the 240, and she doesn't have to spend any more money on the property. I'll be sending over a blank agreement via email for her to review, and I will touch base with her at 2 p.m. Nice. To 2 p.m. to see if she has any questions. If not, I will then send a filled out agreement, and then we'll go from there to set up a day to have inspected, get pictures. Once I have to get signed agreement pictures, I will let you know so we can JV on this deal as well. Is that okay? Absolutely. Great job, Trinice. When people want to review the agreement, you send a blank agreement. Don't ever, ever send out a filled out agreement unless they are ready to move forward. Also, shout out to Courtney. Courtney, you got a closed contract before you even signed up for the mentorship. Like a day before you signed up for the mentorship, you got a closed contract. So congrats on that. All right, let's call some more. I want to call some more lead house leads here. Let me see if I can get somebody on the phone. Let's call this one in Clinton, South Carolina. We recently assigned a property in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Let's see. So this one, oh, looks like they just listed this. Hold on a second. 90 days. 73. Asking price. Let's go to this other one. Hold on. There's another one, Georgia. Snellville, Georgia. Oh, wow. Okay, so it looks like this was somebody inherited this property. Those are always really motivated, but they do take a little bit longer because we don't know if it doesn't need probate. If it does, did they start? How far along are they? You know, we have a property that we assigned, and the person started the probate, but you know, I think it was a family member. I think the attorney actually that was handling it passed away back in 2012 or 11 or something. So we kind of have to pick up where they left off, and now it's an additional, 2 months. So they could be great deals, but you just have to make sure that you dig into the details and see how far along they are. Okay. This property looks actually really good. Sometimes you'll get nice properties too. It's kind of hard to see. Okay. So, what did they put here? Okay. So, reason for some parent's death, need some work, property's currently not listed. I need to sell this property ASAP. They're asking for 20. Okay. Let's give them a call. The price doesn't tell me how motivated they are. I just want to know the reason and the pain points. When people start opening up about the reason they really want to sell, that's where you really have to put your focus on. All right, let's start running comps while this rings. Fowler.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Fowler.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. My name is Steven. I think you filled out a form on our site by your property on Trumbull Terrace. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yes, you did. I'm actually dealing with 5 or 6 different people now. The best offer so far is $250, closing on the 7th. I'm concerned about, of course, about the price, but I also want to close as soon as possible so I can get my sister out of the property. Did you receive all the photos that I sent?
I did not. I think this is my first time speaking with you, actually.
Okay. All right. So I can text them to you if need be, or
Sure.
It's a Google Drive. So
Perfect. Do you have about 5 minutes? I can just ask you a few more questions about it.
of course.
Perfect. So, is it going through probate currently?
Nope, it's done. We're done with probate. That was an awful process, but it's done.
Okay, perfect. And then you said you had an offer for $250, and they can close on the 7th of July.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. And then let me see. I saw some information you put here on our site. Can you tell me a little bit more about the conditions, such as the roof, the interior, things like that?
So the pictures show the roof, and I went up in the attic. I took pictures up in there. There's no leaking or anything like that. I don't know when the roof was replaced, but the roof's in really good shape. There's no damage. There's nothing visible at least, and there's no leaking or anything. And then the HVAC was replaced within the last decade. It is all looks really good. There's a tankless hot water heater that was replaced pretty recently. The biggest thing is there's just a bunch of junk in the house.
I can offer a lot more. Got it. Okay. And then what kind of time frame were you looking to sell the property?
Time frame? So I want to close as soon as possible. So right now, July 7th is I had another offer for $245, but they weren't closing till the 28th. And I think that's just too long. That said, I'm really just trying to get my sister out of the property. She's going to move in with me for a little while. So we just want to get out of it as soon as possible.
Got it. Yeah, that's pretty long. So, okay. Let me take a look here. So your best offer is $250, close on the 7th. If I can, when were you guys looking to make a decision? Are you just collecting offers, or are you just looking to get one that makes sense and move forward with it?
I'm looking at making a decision today. These people, one offer they just gave me was by 5 p.m. today. So that's kind of like my deadline for myself.
Okay. And are you the executor? Well, you're the executor of the estate, I'm assuming?
My sister is, but she doesn't want to be involved in it, or she does, but she just kind of overwhelmed, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the best way to say it. So I'm kind of trying to take over handling this side of it, and then we can get all the paperwork done today, and it'll be it.
Got it. Okay. I think we may be able to offer, just from what I see here, and I liked how you're very direct and just tell me that way I don't waste your time, you know. But I think we can offer a little bit more than 250. You mind if I place you in a brief hold while I go ahead and crunch some numbers?
Sure. Or I can text you the photos. What's your number?
Oh, okay. Let me give this. It's because I'm calling from my office line. Awesome. And when's a better time I can give you a call back?
I'm sorry, you broke up. What's up?
Well, I was saying, when's a better time I can give you a call back?
Anytime today.
Perfect. Yeah, if you could send those photos, I can probably call you back fairly quickly and let you know what we came up with.
Okay. I'm texting them right now.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Bye-bye.
This is a freaking home run. Shout out to Leadhouse 365, man. This guy, some people, you got to move at their pace, but this guy's like, we have an offer at 250. They can close on the 7th. Like, he's very quick, direct to the point. Maybe he's in a rush. I don't know. I don't want to drag the conversation along, keep him on the phone. But I'm looking at comps. Let me pull this up here. I mean, I think our MAO is 280. I see a property. Let me see. Is this the same neighborhood? Let me just confirm this is the same. Yeah, okay. Let me make sure. Because sometimes these properties are close and it could be a completely different neighborhood. Let me make sure it's a much smaller property. It looks similar. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a deal. I see an investor bought one at 290. All right. And, again, with these people that are asked, the people that are just collecting offers, highest and best, the guy's looking to make a decision today. This is exactly what a real lead looks like. Again, somebody that wants to sell, somebody that needs to sell. This guy is looking to make a decision today. Somebody's going to get a signed contract today. Now, his sister is the decision maker, but he mentioned that she's overwhelmed. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just double checking these numbers. The guy, he didn't sound like he wanted to stay on the phone. He's like, I'll send you photos and all that stuff. So I'm gonna let him send photos and ask him what time I can call back. He said anytime. I just want to take a deeper dive into this because I think this is a really good deal. Oh man. Yeah, this is good. Sweet. So the ARV is around 400. Let me see. I see one at 370, 380. Okay. Hedge funds are buying here too. This is a good one. So he's not the person that's going to sign. Okay. His sister's going to sign. So with these, what I want to do when I call him back is assume the close. Now, he's supposed to send me some photos. All right. So I'm not going to rush this. He says he has an offer at 250. I know we can beat that. I know what's also important to him is speed. All right. Somebody said the 20 something. Somebody said the 7th. So their top offer is 250. Okay. And I know we can beat that. So I'm going to offer my best foot forward. I'm going to say 260. All right. And I might get into, I don't know if this guy's going to call the other person, all this stuff. I want to call him back and say, hey, after looking at these numbers, I think we can do 260,000 and we can close on or before 30 days. If probate is completed, it actually speeds up the process. Right. So we could probably close in, a couple weeks, hopefully. But yeah, there's a cash comp that sold for 315 this is not on the same streets, a few streets over. And this was cash. Let me see who bought this real quick. Because if it's in good shape, it could also be a buy and hold. Remember, landlords pay more. Now the landlord average prices, they're buying at 279, which is right. It's perfect. It's right there. I see 312. I see 277. I see 290. Yeah, this is good. Let me go back a little bit farther out here, and then let me go on PropStream real quick. Yeah, this is a deal. This is a good deal. And from the way the pictures look on the outside, it looks good. Looks really good. So I'm not going to rush it, right? You don't want to sound thirsty. Okay, you don't want to sound thirsty. Say, hey, I'm gonna send you this contract right now, whatever. Hey, after crunching some numbers, if the house is in good shape, just exactly what you said, I think we could do 260. I'd have to confirm that. You know, why don't you speak with your sister? I'll speak with my team, right? And I'll wait for those photos. If we can do the 260s, is something that you already move forward today. You know what I'm saying? So, woo-wee. All right, let's call him back. Actually, no, not yet. I'm going to give him a little bit of breathing room. Let me call the next lead, and then I'm going to call him right after. But I think this is a really good deal. It's probably, you know, one of the best ones. What is this? Oh, this is really strange. I'm looking at a comp. And like the side of the house is green. What is this? Oh, there's definitely can't be an HOA in here then. That's strange. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Oh, this is on the market right now. Dang, these houses. Oh, wow. These houses sell quick. So let me show you a comp. Now, our property, this is actually a good comp. This is a really good comp. And I know it's still active, but 81 saves. Dang, this is a really good deal. Let me show you. Hold on a second. Let me show you what I'm looking at. All right, so this is stuff you have to look at when you're running comps. Don't just look at sold. Look at active pending, okay, and sold, of course. But check this out. Let me X this out. There we go. So this property, I just want to show you this. I don't know what's up with this. It's like a nice brick, and then you got like green. I don't know. But this is a comp right here. This is a comp. It's active for 450. Okay. And it's been listed for 14 days, and you have a bunch of interest. This is going to sell quick. So those are the things you want to look at when you're analyzing what you're. And this is the best part. The investor bought it for $315. Their highest offer is $250. The investor bought this one for $315. They fixed it up. It probably didn't need that much work. And then they relisted it for $450 in about a month. Wow. About 2 months almost. Yeah, this is this is a clear deal for sure. All right, so let me call the next lead. All right, and then I'm gonna go back to this one. But guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like inbound marketing. These are people going to you, right? So again, shout out to Lead House 365, and you know with people are asking the price and stuff like that. It's not a one size fits all. I do know that they have different packages. All right. So just make sure that, make sure you just reach out to them and just talk to them and let them know, you know, what makes sense for you. Okay. Let them know it makes sense for you. But all we're doing in our business is just inbound, by the way. All we're doing is inbound. That's why we're getting some contracts and some really good deals. All right, cool. Let me actually answer a few questions. You guys have a few questions here. Drop them in the chat. I see a few questions in the private chat. Okay. Let's see. Can Can we already answer that? Steven, if a property needs little to no rehab, do you calculate your MAO for a potential buy and hold investor versus a fix and flip investor? What is that methodology? Yes, great question. So yes, I definitely do look at those two things differently, right? Because if the property needs little to no rehab, for example, this one sounds like it doesn't really need a full rehab. Okay, so I want to look and see, well, what are buy and hold investors buying at? Because they'll pay higher than a fix and flip. Okay, I mean, flippers are paying $290 in this neighborhood. Okay, flippers. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let's see. I see another buy and hold at $290. Here's another flip for $267. These are flips. So, they probably need a lot of work. All right. There are some people paying cash $370, $315. Oh, this one $315. But to answer your question, yes, I do look at those differently. And the way I run comps may be different than what you're used to, right? 70% rule and stuff is cool, but what are investors buying at? And what is it selling for? Right? Because maybe they bought it at a price and they're having trouble selling the property. This comp that sold for $450, I don't think they're going to have a problem selling this. And the reason is because it's only been listed for 14 days, has 81 saves, 1,046 views. This is listed for $450. I think I can offer our seller $260. Okay? So I think this is a deal. This is the kind of sellers that I just want to speak with, people that actually want to sell, need to sell. Okay. And remember, the cash conversion cycle for inbound marketing is a lot less. So for example, a lead comes in, we get it under contract and it's sold. That takes an average about 30 days or less. Any kind of outbound marketing, like if you're cold calling, that could take 4 to 5 months potentially, right? So you have to be patient with that. It's different every time. But right now for PPC, we're averaging one contract out of 12 leads. Okay, so every time 12 leads come in, remember there's follow-up, there's nurture, there's negotiation, but every 12 leads that come in, we get one contract. Okay, and our average deal size is actually pretty healthy. I think it's around 25,000, I would say. It'll go up a lot higher once we close on one at the end of the month, but we got a PPC lead June 5th. I posted this on social media. It came in June 5th. The first day it came in, we got the contract. Right? And then Sai sold that thing in 5 days. Like, it was just very good deal. But it was inbound marketing. All right. All right, Steven, regarding the property in West Virginia, what would be your end game? It doesn't seem like much of a buyer's market. That's a great question. That property in West Virginia, I have a follow-up call with the husband because he works late and, we're trying to figure out time and day. He's on board with terms. After I looked at it, terms may or may not work, but those rural areas that are not ideal rentals, and depending on their mortgage payment, because I'm always conservative when it comes to these things, and I want to make sure I explain people the right way. Their mortgage monthly payment is higher than what it could potentially rent for. I think it's going to be better as a novation where we're going to list a property in the market. It could take longer, but I just want to explain that to them, okay, because they are very motivated, but they don't want to list it with an agent. Well, why don't they want to list it with an agent? Is it because closing costs, open houses? We didn't really go into the weeds of that conversation, but I know I've built enough rapport where they like me and trust me, and I just want to be fully transparent, just lay it all out. Because the cash offer, that's not going to work. The terms, it may or may not work. I don't think it's going to work based on what I see, right? Their monthly payment's higher. Nobody wants to buy a property in negative cash flow. And, I'm never going to pretend like I know everything about this business. I just know enough to get deals done and been doing it for a while. By no means am I not I'm not a creative finance innovation expert yet, but, we're doing deals. But the thing is, it's never a one size fits all. It's always different. But I'll never lock up a deal just to like, let's just lock it up and see what we can do. Like, it's got to be realistic. If I see an opportunity, then I'll push to get it under contract. But if I feel it's kind of iffy, like, no, I rather tell the person we can partner up with you and list on the market, but that could take 30, 60, 90 days. And that's it. Steven, the previous property is what? Is that assignment opportunity or what strategy? The previous property. What's the previous property I called? Oh, this one. So the previous property, I'm assuming you meant the person I just spoke with. Yes, that could potentially be an assignment, right? Some of these properties that we call, I mean, we're willing to take down but it's got to be clear. Remember, you don't just want to like come across as just, hey, all I do is wholesaling. And even if that's 99.9% of what you do, I wouldn't advise you to look at it that way. You have to put yourself in the buyer's shoes, because when you're getting properties under contract, assigning or wholesaling is simply an exit strategy. Great business model too, but you got to get it at a price that, like, hey, if you were to take this down yourself, are you comfortable locking it up at a price that you would take down and flip it? Whether you assign it or whatever, are you comfortable taking down at that price? Or are you just locking it up and praying it's just going to, like, somebody's going to bite on it, right? Let's go. Yes, Trinise 260 is good. Let's go. How much does Lead House 365 cost, or do you pay per lead? Reach out to them. They do everything, but they have different packages. So, like, you can set up a call with them. I see their ads everywhere. Yes, real estate leads. Yeah, they're definitely the real deal. Joanne, hosting proper 365. What's up? I have a tough time finding deals. Well, what's your marketing method, right? I'm actually going to make a video today on starting from scratch. You know, like, if somebody were to start from scratch, what would I suggest you do to get a deal the fastest way? And also depends. We all start from different, beginnings. So, like, some people may have a marketing budget, some people may not. If you have a marketing budget, I would suggest that you get inbound marketing. If you don't really have a marketing budget right now, you can do some outbound marketing, but you have to be very targeted, specific, and get ready to make a lot of calls. Okay, question. Home with, let me see. Question on 100K home with a mortgage that's 50% paid. Okay, that's good. If I want to do a sub 2, I continue the mortgage at 50K. How do I pay the difference? Over time. Yeah. So, like, the good thing is that person has equity, but if they want a higher price, if they're open to a sub 2, it's all negotiable, right? Do they want or even need a down payment? What is, when you're looking at these, you want to get the principal, the interest, the taxes, and the insurance, the monthly payment. And does the monthly payment include the taxes and insurance? Okay. But you paid over time through escrow. They're not really that complicated. You just want to make sure that, like, the terms make sense. For us, typically we do 5 to 10% down, 5 to 10 years, right? A 30-year, term, maybe with like a 5 or 10 year balloon. And then, like, the interest and stuff, if it's free and clear, that stuff could be negotiated. If it's has a mortgage, then you're going to have to do your research. And if a property has a mortgage, don't try to push that offer for the first time, because you do want to take your time and do your due diligence and see if it's tight. Do I got to see what the rents are going for in the area? Any suggestions for lead providers? Lead House 365 for inbound marketing. Okay. Let's call the next lead. Oh, actually, hold on. I got to call this guy back. Let me check if he sent the photos. I don't know if he sent the photos yet. Let me see. Oh, he sent the photos. What is this? Hey, Steven, oh man, this guy did a lot of work. He put a Google Drive folder together. This house is in good shape. It's really messy, but it's actually in really good shape. Let me show you guys what it looks like. It kind of looks like a, is that the neighbor's house? Hold on a second. Let me show you guys the guy that sent the photos. Hold on a second. All right. Well, house looks pretty good. Okay. Looks pretty good. What I do want to see is the inside. Okay. Looks good on the outside. There's just a lot. I don't care how messy these things are. What I care about is just like the bones and all that stuff. Okay. I mean, the house looks good. What's the inside look like? This is in good shape. Really, really messy, right? Really, really messy, but yeah, I think this is good. So here's what I'm gonna do. You have to be careful about how you present your offers to somebody that's not a decision maker, because they may try to bid up your offer with somebody else, and then you're getting in a bidding war. And I know it's a deal, but I don't want to bid against myself, because some people will just, they'll say what's the highest and best and this and that, and then yeah. So I'm gonna call this guy back. Let me see. Include your email, your name. Oh, okay. Please email me at blank, blank, blank. Include your email, your name, company name, your contact information, your offer, and any additional costs. If you have any questions, feel free to call or text me at this number. Also, you can contact me if you'd like to come by and see the home. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from you. Just trying to get all the offers together. The best one is $250, closing on July 7th. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go at $260. But I want to make sure that he speaks with his sister. Otherwise, I'm talking to the wrong person. Okay? So let's go ahead and do this. Let me call him back. Mr. Fowler. I want to see if I can get a commitment and time to follow up to get that. Hey, Mr. Fowler, I just this is Steven. I just took a look at the photos here. Yeah, this is actually in pretty decent shape. I think could be a great rental. I think we'd actually be comfortable at the 260. Do you think that's something your sister and your family would be comfortable with? Yeah, I think we're going to. So the closing date, we always put on or before 30 days. So what is that? 30 days from today's July 13th, I would say. Since the probate is completed, because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but since the probate's completed, it could be 2 to 3 weeks, but we always put standard, 30 days. And we'll actually cover your closing costs and fees and all that stuff. Yeah, they're prorated. The prorated, yep. Mm-hmm. ARC Equity Acquisitions. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll go ahead and send that over. I know you have to run it by your sister. If she accepts that, were you guys ready to move forward as far as like an agreement in place? Okay. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. And then you guys are still in the middle of moving stuff from the property. Is that a reasonable time frame for you guys? Okay. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure. I know that some people they want to sell as is, and then some people needed like time to move stuff out. But anything you don't want, you can just leave behind. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure because I saw the photos.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So you mentioned that if your sister agrees, is something you guys are ready to move forward with today?
That's correct.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll send you that information via text. When will be a better time to check back in with you, see how that conversation went with your sister?
Give me like till 3.
So,
At 3 o'clock.
all right, sounds good. I'll talk to you then. Talk soon.
All right, sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yep. Go. I know you guys couldn't hear the first part of the conversation. Then I forgot to share the audio, but hopefully you caught the end there. So I made sure I told him, if we can do this, is this something that you think your sister's ready to move forward? He said, absolutely. It sounds like he's the one handling everything because she's overwhelmed. And I don't know if I was sharing the audio right before this, but one thing that I asked him, maybe you heard me, but not him. In the photos, they're moving a lot of stuff. And I said, hey, I noticed you're moving a lot of stuff. Is honor before 30 days good enough for you? Need more time? It's like, oh, we're looking to sell in as is condition, like with everything already in there. I'm like, okay. I mean, these people are really motivated. So this is a great deal. I'm going to send them all the information. Okay. And the most important thing when it comes to these committed offers, or like if they have a third person they have to speak with or second or whatever, the most important thing you guys have to keep in mind is that you have to get a time commitment to call them back, especially with leads like this. I don't want to leave it open-ended. We're like, okay, speak with your sister and, have a nice day. I say, hey, speak with your sister. When would be a better time for me to call you back? He said, give me till 3 p.m. So I'm going to call him at 3 p.m. Okay. And I'm going to send him the information. He wanted what did he request? He said, let's see. I pressed the wrong button here. He just wanted some information about the company and all that stuff and like a formal offer. And I'll send him an email with like just exactly what I said. But this is a deal. I think the ARV is probably, I'm always conservative with this stuff, but that comp that is active for 450, I think it's going to sell really close to that. I think our ARV is easily over $400,000, and the house is not. This is not like a super distressed property. It's just a very messy property, but it's in really good shape. And again, that lead was brought to you by Lead House 365. So guys, you can go to leadhouse365.com, shoot them a message if you want to get leads just like that. I do this live. This is the first time I'm speaking to this person, and it came from Lead House 365. So they are great. Great stuff. But guys, that's all I got for today. I know I went a little bit over, but I'm glad you got to see that call. I will see you guys on next week's episode. And if you want to also learn how to identify properties, run comps, if there's anything you want to see, make sure you take a look at my other videos. And this stuff is free. If you feel like you got any value out of it, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. But guys, have a great Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys.